What if I offer you 50% profit within 45 days or 100% profit within 90 days in your invested money almost at no risk? Well, one such event happened in 1920, which is known as the biggest scheme in the history of the world. Even the scheme is named after the schemer. Yes, I'm talking about no one but Charles Ponzi. So let's see, what is Ponzi scheme? A Ponzi scheme is a form of fraud that lures the investor and pays the profit to the earlier investor with the funds from the more recent investors. Named after the Italian businessman Charles Ponzi, the scam lets the victim to believe that the profits are coming from legitimate business activities and they remain aware that investors are the sources of funds. So let's have a look how it actually works.
So let's see, how does Ponzi scheme work? Everybody knows they're illegal, but you might not understand how they work. So Mr. Akash is here to show us. To start off, Mr. Akash gets a few people like Shubho, Tomal and Rizvi to invest their money with him. At the end of the year, he gives those clients amazing returns that beats every other investor in the market. Needless to say, the investors are thrilled.
Yay!
In fact, they are so ecstatic about all the money they are making that they tell all their friends and family about it too. Who tell their friends, who tell their friends, and who tell their friends. In the stock market, most investors make money some years and lose money others. But Mr. Akash Ponzi scheme, yeah, it never loses money. In fact, it always beats the market by a huge margin. But the returns he pays to these people aren't from actual profits. He just takes the money these new guys invest and gives it to these guys. But as soon as you can't get enough new money from this group to pay these people, then the whole pyramid starts to crumble because they are not getting paid anymore. Mr. Akash and these guys who invested first made a killing, but these folks lost all their money. So the next time a guy like Akash tries to get you to invest in something that sounds too good to be true, it probably is just as Akash.
Ooh!
Ponzi arrived in US on 15 November 1903. His parents gave him $250 when he was leaving from Italy, but he spent them all in gambling. Only $2.5 was left when he reached in USA. Ponzi could speak English, Italian, and French, which were the major languages of the then time. Besides his language skill, he had wonderful convincing power. This convincing power helped him to get the job at Banco Jurassic. Ponzi eventually rose to bank manager. But the bank was in serious financial trouble. Soon the bank went bankrupt and Ponzi lost his job. After losing his job, Ponzi didn't have a penny in his pocket to feed himself. Eventually, he walked into the office of a former Jurassic customer. Finding no one there, he wrote a check for $423 in a checkbook he found and forging the signature of the Damien Forner, a director of the company. He was sent to jail for that. The upliftment of the scam was started when the idea of the trading international replay coupon. Ponzi set up a small office in 1919 attempting to sell small business idea to the contacts in Europe. He received a letter from a company in Spain asking about the advertising catalogs which included international replay coupons. There he found a loop in the system, at least in principle, which gave him an opportunity to make money. Well, the then time, a postal coupon allowed a person in one country to pay for the postages to a correspondent in another country. If the values were different, there was a chance of potential profit. He needed a large capital to buy international display coupon at the lower performing European countries. First, he tried to borrow money from several banks, but the bank didn't lend him money. So he decided to raise money from public. Ponzi set up a stock company to raise money from public. He also went to several of his friends in Boston and promised that he would double their invested money in 90 days. Later, he increased this 45 days at 50% interest rate. Some people invested and paid as promised. In January 1920, Ponzi started his own company named the Security Exchange Company. By May 1920, he had made $420,000, which owed $5.7 million of today. By July, he was ranking in $1 million per week and rising. By the end of the July, he was approaching $1 million per day. People invested $2.5 million by July 1920 in his company. Ponzi's company was running at a large loss as he made no effort to generate legitimate profit. Nearly 75% of Boston's police force invested in his scam. So now let's see the collapse of the scam. On July 26th, the Post started a series of articles that asked hard questions about the operations of Ponzi's money machine. The paper contracted Clarence Farron, the financial journalist who had Dow Jones and Company, to examine Ponzi scheme. Barron observed that though Ponzi was offering fantastic return on investment, Ponzi himself was not investing with his own company. He also noted that to cover the investment made with the Securities Exchange Company, 116 million replay coupons would have to be in circulation. However, by the US Postal Office, only about 27,000 were actually circulating. The Post article caused a panic run on the Securities Exchange Company. Ponzi paid $2 million in 3 days to a wild crowd outside his office. This attracted the attention of Downey Glander, the US Attorney of the District of Massachusetts. So against the investment of $1, every investor got back only 30 cents. The scam is repeated by Barnee Madoff. Barnee Madoff was an American financier who executed the largest Ponzi scheme in history, defrauding thousands of investors out of the $10 billion over the course at least 17 years, possibly larger. He was also a pioneer in electric trading and chair of Nasdaq in early 1990s. He died in prison at the age of 82 on April 14, 2021, while serving a 150-year sentence of money laundering, securities fraud, and several other felonies. At some point, Madoff attracted investors by claiming to generate large, steady return through an investing strategy called the Spill-Stack Convention, a legitimate trading strategy. However, Madoff deposited a client fund into a single bank account that he used to pay existing clients who wanted to cash out. He funded the redemption by attracting the new investor and their capital, but was unable to maintain the fraud when the market turned sharply lower in later of 2008. On December 10, 2008, he confessed his wrongdoing to his sons, who worked at his firm. The following day, they turned him to the authorities. He remained adamant that his sons were not aware of his scheme. The forged large statement indicated it had $64.8 billion in client assets. Thank you so much for watching.